Don't worry, I'm safe. I have my cell phone on my dash. It is hooked up to a harness, and I'm driving. I'm keeping my eyes on the road. But listen, this one thing has been getting to me this week. I mean, it's been sincerely bothering me, itching me. Like, I went to bed with it, and I woke up this morning. Even in meditation and prayer, it's been inside of me, and it has really been getting to me. And do you know what that is? And I'm just going to be straight with you. It is the falsehood of the 401k. It's the falsehood of the thrift savings plan. It's the falsehood of the IRA and the 403b and the tax deferred savings plan. Do you know what I mean? Robert Kiyosaki said this on a Zoom call one time, and I'll never forget it. Robert Kiyosaki said, rich people don't invest in 401ks. And if you look it up, you'll find Robert Kiyosaki all over the internet, on his podcast, on his radio show, saying wealthy people, I won't say rich, I'm going to say wealthy people, because there's a difference, don't put their money into 401ks. And I can remember him counseling this one woman who called in on his podcast, and she said, oh yeah, I have a 401k. And he said, oh, I feel bad for you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And you know the reason why is because when you put your money into a 401k or a thrift savings plan, you are giving your income back to the government, and you are making a promissory note to the IRS, promising them that you'll pay your taxes later. Do you hear what I'm saying? So you're putting off paying taxes on a portion of your income, telling the IRS that you promised to pay them later. And you do that in exchange for a tax write-off. And I heard Grant Cardone say this on a Zoom call. He said, rich people don't believe in, let me rephrase that. He said, wealthy people don't believe in tax write-offs. And that was the first time I heard that. I said, what is he talking about? And he made this example. He said, if I gave you $1 and then you turned around and gave me back that same dollar at the end of the year, did I earn any money on that dollar? And I was like, no. He said, when you give your money to the IRS and then they just turn back around and give you a tax refund, he said you lost growth potential and buying power on that dollar. And you know, this is not something that we've been taught in high school or in college. So at first that slipped my mind. I didn't understand what he was talking about. What do you mean we lost growth potential? Well, the cost of living goes up every year. It's called inflation. So if the cost of living goes up by 5% and your money didn't grow by 5%, your dollar is worth less. Which means if you buy a can of soda right now and it costs $1, and then next year you go back to the store and that same soda costs $1.05, you cannot purchase that soda unless you give them 5 extra cents. So that's called losing buying power on your money. Your money actually depreciates in value if your money doesn't grow by 5%. And that wasn't something that I could pick up right away. It took me at least a good year, Evangelist. How you doing? To really let that click for me. So when Grant Cardone said, we don't do tax refunds because the government just takes your money for the year and you're losing buying power because you don't get any growth on that money. So people are clamoring to get more tax refunds just so you can give $1 to the IRS and they turn around and they just give you back that same dollar that you gave them. So we don't chase tax refunds. So I was like, you know what? That makes so much sense. If you put your money in the bank and the bank is paying you less than 5%, you're losing buying power on your money because your money did not keep up with the cost of living. So your money is actually decreasing in value. Tax refund money is money that decreases in value. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? So people are taking a portion of their income, putting it into the thrift savings plan or 401k in exchange for a tax refund. You're earning no money on the money that you're writing off. That's one thing. Now listen, I know this is a high concept. Some people will get it, some people will not. Because some people are just programmed to submit, right? So you're just not gonna, it's not gonna click for you. But for those of you who understand what I'm saying, don't believe the hype. Do you hear what I'm saying? So that's one thing. So let me go back to why this has been bothering me. You put your money into a 401k, an IRA, or thrift savings plan. You give them back a portion of your income. And then when you need it, and you need it, right, you're taxed 3 different ways. The government will tax you 22 to 39% for federal income taxes. And then you have to pay your state income taxes, which averages about 5%. And if you live in California, New York, Chicago, possibly Atlanta, then you'll pay higher state income taxes in more congested areas, right? So you may pay 13% state taxes if you live in California, or higher taxes if you live in New York, right? If you live in the South or Midwest, you'll pay 5, 6, 7% in income taxes. So you add up your federal and your state, and you got to pay that off your thrift savings plan or your 401k. And then you have to wait until you're almost 60 years old, 59 and a half years old. And if you don't let the government keep your money until you're just about 60 years old, they're going to charge you an extra 10% early out penalty, an extra 10% on top of your federal, on top of your state. So either way you slice that, 22%, 5%, and an extra 10%, you're going to be paying about 40%. 40% of your savings is going back to state and federal taxes if you try to touch your money once it's in an IRA, a 401k, or a thrift savings plan. 40%. So people get online with us and they say, oh, I got the thrift savings plan and it's doing good. I said, well, the market crashed. And last week, people lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, it recovered. So that means you just came back to where you were last year. So you lost 50,000. Probably not. Probably like you probably didn't recover 50,000, right? You lost $30,000, and so you gained it back. So now you just broke even. You didn't win. You didn't earn any money on your money. You just got your money back. It's just a refund. The market crashed and came back. You didn't earn any money on your money. It's just a refund. You just broke even. You might as well have put your money under the mattress. Then you wouldn't have went through through the emotional headache. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then you just break even, and then you still have to pay 40% in taxes. So it's a falsehood. When you look at your balance, you don't automatically think, well, let me deduct the taxes. Let me deduct state. Let me deduct federal. And then I have to wait till I'm 60, or I have to deduct an extra 10%. Let me take 40% off that balance when I'm looking at it. No, you see that balance sitting in your account, and what do? You mentally spend it. You mentally think it's yours, and it's not yours. The money in your thrift savings plan, 30 to 40% of that money is not yours. The money in your TSP, 30 to 40% of that money is not yours. The money in your IRS, 30 to 40% of that money is not yours. It belongs to Uncle Sam as a promissory note. You haven't paid your taxes on it. Do you hear what I'm saying? So I had to come online and I had to vent because it's just been on me so heavy. So heavy that people are so deceived by the balances that they see. And then the up and down of the market, thinking, oh, well, it recovered. It recovered, but you didn't earn anything. You would have to earn 40% on the market in order to win in a tax-deferred plan. 40% per year is what you would have to earn in order to win in a thrift savings plan. Who knows how to do that? Only savvy investors. Wealthy people don't play that game. Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, just to name a few. Wealthy people would laugh at you. No, I'm not putting my money in no IRA, no thrift savings plan. They don't put their money there because they understand the tax game that's being played with that money. So what's the solution? The solution is observe the masses and do the opposite. Where do wealthy people grow their cash? That's the question. And where do wealthy people grow their cash so that it's tax-free? How, if I've already got $100, $200, $300, $500, $1 million, $2 million in a thrift savings plan or 401k, how do I avoid paying taxes? What would a wealthy person do if they were stuck in a traditional banking system, a public banking system, and they wanted to switch over to the private banking system? How do you roll your money out of the public banking system and put your money into the private banking system? Is there a fee for doing that? Well, yeah, there is a legal fee. There is. And I'm going to be straight up honest with you. The lawyers will charge you a fee. Yes. But it is pennies. Pennies, pennies, pennies. Most of you pay more in 1 month's mortgage note than you would pay a lawyer to do this specific transfer that you need to have done to get your money out of the public banking system and put it into the private banking system. But it's a two-step move. 2 steps. It's 2 power moves that you have to do to get your money out of the public banking system. O.J. Simpson did it. And that's why the Goldman family can't touch his money to this day. O.J. has passed away, and the Goldman family still cannot touch his money. Forbes magazine reported that O.J., while he was in jail, earned $600,000 per year of passive income. coming from this private banking source, private banking system. And when he was sued by the Goldman family, you all remember, they seized everything. The FBI came and they seized his property. They tore him apart limb from limb. Even his Heisman trophy, they auctioned off his stuff. I mean, they tore him apart. But guess what? They couldn't touch the $6 million in assets that he did in this private banking system that I want to tell you about and give you access to. So $6 million, OJ, you all remember when he used to run through the airports and he did movies? Remember when he used to be a superhero? He came on Wonder Woman, and I mean, he was the juice, right? People used to say, there goes the juice, and he would run through the airport. Remember when he had those good old days, when he had this amazing public image? Remember that? Well, OJ stepped out on the golf course, and he began to merge with super wealthy people, and they told him what to do with his NFL cash to get it out of that NFL public banking system. And he took his NFL money that they were putting in his 401k and all of that, and he transferred it into a private banking system. And he was glad he took $6 million worth of his money, because when they seized everything, he had nothing left and he got locked up. This private banking system kept paying him, bop, bop, bop. And you know, once you put it here, throughout the test of time, nobody can touch it. So yes, OJ has passed away. And however he wrote this up, however he did this, it might be his kids. I don't know who it is. They're still, whatever that is, OJ's gone, right? That, whatever that source is, the way he did it, they're still getting that $600,000 a year. So he left $600,000 worth of assets on this planet, even though he's long gone. The Simpson name. I'm back. So you know what happened, right? I had my cell phone on the dash and it overheated. I forgot that it does that. So I had to turn on my AC a little higher so that my cell phone would cool off a little bit and I could finish talking to everybody. So this is my lunch and learn. I'm on my way to get some Thai noodles. I've been hooked on Thai noodles. You know, in the springtime when the pollen comes up, if you get some Thai noodles and it has ginger and it has cilantro and it has these Thai spices in it, it cleans up your sinuses. Can you tell I'm sinusy? Can you hear it? Because I'm here in Virginia Beach, man, and there's some serious plant growth. This is like almost like living in the tropics, right? Right now I'm about 3 miles away from the ocean. So I guess my DC sinuses are like, what's going on down here by the ocean, right? So I'm going to get another bowl of Thai noodle soup and clear all of this up. It's going to feel so good. They put ginger and all kinds of stuff in the soup. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to put some chicken and shrimp in there, have them mix it up. I know you guys are like, where do you get that? The noodle company, is that what it's called? I think it's called the Noodle Company. That's where I'm going. So I'm going to the Noodle Company to have some lunch. So anyway, you know, this is my lunch and learn for you guys. I'm going to take a look at this video, make sure it's good. I normally hide it and then re-edit it and then post it again, or chop it up and take pieces of it and then repost it, so it won't stay up too long. But I just wanted to give you guys just another train of thought. Observe the masses and do the opposite. Right now you have a thrift savings plan, a 401k, an IRA, you have a 403B, and I talked to a gentleman that's putting 10% of his pay into that 401k. And I said, good Lord. And he said, my company matches 5%. I said, listen, okay, get the matching money if that's what you want. No. He didn't. No, not 5%. He said, my company matches $3,000. Anything over $3,000, you're pretty much on your own. I said, Lord, have mercy. I said, well, if you want to get their $3,000 for your $3,000, fine, do that. And I said, do this, that, and that, so that you don't lose as much, because you're going to lose some, even if you do this, but you won't lose as much. And then do that with your matching, and do that with your matching, and then you'll be okay. But 10%, if I could cuss, if I wasn't a Christian, you understand what I'm saying? I would say hell to the no, blickety blocking, no. Don't put that blickety blocking much in there. Because it's just a promissory note to the government on your income. I promise I'll pay my taxes later. Who does that? I promise I'll pay my taxes later. I'll let my 60-year-old self pay all these taxes. What? Come on. I'm getting close to 60. And honey, you don't feel like pushing and working, and your body changes. You're going to tell your 60-year-old self to pay 40% on your thrift savings plan? What in the world? What in the world? Think about it. Think about it. What are you doing? Why would you do that? My friends who are at the 7, 8, and 9 figure level, they nicknamed it the tax trap. I've even heard the tax jail because they lock your money up in jail until you're just about 60 years old, and then they give you a 10% break. They won't charge you an early out penalty. You still have to pay your federal and your state, but they'll give you an early out penalty. And you're like, well, if you retire, won't you be in a lower income tax bracket? No, honey. You're going to pay your working income tax bracket, not your retired. You'll be taxed on your working income. So if you retired at $250,000 a year, you're going to pay 39% in federal income taxes. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you retired at $100,000 a year, you're going to pay like 28 to 32% in federal. And you're going to pay whatever your state will be on top of that. That's your true balance. So look again. Oh, I got $500,000. A guy talked to yesterday. I have $900,000 in my thrift savings plan. And I was like, and you're about to come out in May? Like, yeah, I'm about to come out in May. I'm like, what you gonna do, right? He said, well, my new fiance, I just got a new fiance. My new fiance, she has some ideas about money. I'm like, Lord have mercy. First of all, she's a new fiance. You understand what I'm saying? And she smelling your money. Come on. Are you about to get trapped like that? What? Wait a minute. Come here. Wait. Did you say your new fiance? Because when I talked to him like 5 months ago, he didn't have a fiance. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is a new woman in your life. Okay. Your new fiance has some ideas about money. And I told him, I said, listen, follow the advice that I gave you, and your best friend who referred you, Mr. Blah, 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 who's at the $90 million mark, who actually referred you to me. He and I gave you some advice about these power moves, and now you're going to turn a deaf ear to the two of us, and you're going to follow the advice of your new fiance about money. What do you think about that? That's crazy, right? Crazy pants. That's crazy pants. So I'm like, listen, it's okay to learn different stuff. But if wealthy people who have amassed $85 million, $90 million in accounts onshore and offshore are guiding you and telling you the power moves to make so that you don't have to pay all those taxes, and they're telling you that we don't put our money there, and this is why, and you turn a deaf ear to that and you don't listen, you deserve what you get. You deserve exactly what you get because you decided, as the Bible said, not to follow the voice of wisdom, not to follow wise counsel. You decided to follow, as King Solomon said, the voice of the, I love you ladies, don't get me wrong, okay, because I'm a lady, but you decided to follow the voice of the lady who doesn't have that kind of experience, right? Well, she does all right, you know, she does this and that, but she's not at 85 million, 90 million. She has absolutely no idea, no clue what that, can't even wrap her brain around that. Because she wouldn't be with you with your government job if she was at that level. Do you understand what I'm saying? She wouldn't. I hate to break it down to you like that, but she would not. If she was at that level, she wouldn't be thinking about being, you know, not. I mean, really, she wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry to have to come so hard at y'all, but like I said, this has been bothering me for a couple of days, running into people that are tricked by the number they see in their retirement portal, thinking that that's their money. It's not your money. That's the IRS's money. That's the, say it out loud, write it on a piece of paper. That's not my money. That's the IRS's money. I owe the IRS. I've never paid the IRS on this. So I have to pay them, and they're going to get their money first. Well, I had one teacher tell me, she said, well, I'll just leave it in there. I'll leave it in there. I said, you better leave it in there until we finish doing this move. I have a sweetheart, I love her with the depths of my soul. I love her. I'm telling you, I love her. She's from China. And she accumulated more money than the average American can accumulate, because in China they have a different mindset. They were taught since they were small to be frugal. So she accumulated a mass amount of money on a teacher's salary. She has no debts. And her teacher's salary, you would think, how in the world did you save this much money? Right? In her full 3B. And she says, no, I didn't do good. I suck. And she was putting herself down while I was talking to her. I'm like, stop it. I was like, I am poor. See, because in China, if you don't have at least 8 figures, you're considered not much at all. And so her standards are at another level than we are here in the U.S., her standards, right? Just last week, I came out of class and I was walking with her, and she paid for a brand new car, and we went to lunch. I said, oh, I like your car. And she said, oh, I paid it off in cash, right? And so she's one of my clients, right? And I said, she said, I'm just going to keep it in there and keep it in there. And I said, no, you're going to take it out. You're going to wait 1 year. You're going to get your bonuses, this, that, and the other. And then you're going to take it out next year, right? You're going to take it out next year, right? And then we're going to do these power moves, and then you're going to blow up. And then when she saw her account, she said, oh my, that's a lot of money. She said, oh, thank you. She hugged me and said, that's a lot of money. She said, I've been losing money like crazy. Because she had retired maybe like 8 years ago. And she just kept her money in the 403B. She just let it. She didn't know what else to do with it, right? And she knew if she touched it, they were going to hit her up with like 35, 40% in taxes. So she just left it there. And then the market fell. Because, you know, it was the pandemic. The market fell. Boom, boom, boom. And then it fell again like crazy pants last week and the week before. And since your favorite president has been in there, and the market just went doo-doo, right? So we got that money out of there so that she wouldn't lose, and we bonused it, and we did it. That's a lot of money. And I say, just wait until the end of the year. That's a lot of money. When everybody else is losing, you see growth on your money. But you wait until the end of the year, and you're going to see another big kick of money. Wow! And man, now she's like she's like one of my best friends. Right? And then we hooked her up with that last power move. And now she's not going to have to pay taxes on that 403B. And now her 2 sons, because she's a single mom. She's from China, a single mom. And one of her boys is disabled. Right? So she was able to set up something for her disabled adult son, her other son, herself. As a single mom, I'm telling you, she's perpetuating her last name through time, forever, because of what we did. It's amazing. So listen, yeah. So I've had this talk. I've got this off my chest. I'm going to go here and get my Thai noodles and get my cilantro and my ginger and my shrimp and all these wonderful spices. Clean up my sinuses. You hear it? Clean up my sinuses. But listen, I want to leave you with this scripture as I go. Beloved, I wish above all things, that you prosper. And this time I'm talking about money, straight up. And be in good health. I'm talking about your body, your fitness. Y'all know I teach dance and fitness. Your fitness, your gut. That you prosper and be in good health. But here's the condition God gave us. As your soul grows. So along with your mentality, as you study, trust, and believe God, as you study and trust in finances, as you learn, as you don't turn a blind eye to stocks and the stock market and real estate and the different things that you can do. You don't turn away, but you're diligent. You study what you should do with your money. You listen. You follow wise counsel, right? You read, you develop yourself, you pray. Get in the presence of God and let Holy Spirit guide you. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper, grow your money, grow your finances, and be in good health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, as you're diligent, as you study, and as you transform yourself into the image of the Holy One. I pray that blessing upon you. And I'm going to go get my Thai noodles. And I really do wish you all the best. Evangelist, thanks for watching. Whoever else, thanks for watching. And I'll see you soon. Reach out to me. You don't have to give 30% of your money back to the government. You don't. But you have to listen and trust and do as we are guiding you. Or else you will give 30 to 40% of your money to the government. You sure will, and there's no way you won't. But if you listen and do, you won't. I love you, and I'll see you soon.